Yo, what's up? What's cracking? What up? What up? That's better. Your lives are literally at the most perfect time. Well, I'm glad I can help. What's up, Mama said? Hey, John, good day so far. Yeah, it's been all right. I've had way too much coffee. I'm sorry. It's okay, bro. I actually was able to join on time. Well, that's good. We started a little bit late today, but it's okay. Nice tank top. Thank you. I used to be obese, now I'm a normal weight. Well, that's awesome, Natalie. I'm glad to hear that. I just figured out how to sub on your Twitch for free with my Amazon Prime. Well, there you go. Where's it at? Did you already do it? Your lives make my day. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy them. When are we getting the male work for change tops? Probably not for, or tank tops. Probably not for a little bit. We're working on hoodies right now. It is sweater weather right now for most of the world. Not so much in San Diego, but for most of the world. I've been enjoying these lives while I am homesick from work. Oh man, I hope you're feeling okay. What's happening? What's up? Your video of the Karen is on NBC News. Yeah, it's everywhere right now. I've been getting like an unbelievable amount of requests from like news companies, like are all in my DMs, and some of them somehow got my phone number. I don't know how they did that, but they like are calling me and messaging or texting me. I'm like, how do you have my phone number? What is going on? Oh, I need that hoodie. It'll be out soon. Don't you worry. We're just looking at samples and whatnot. I love your lives. They give me something to listen to while I do work stuff right now. I'm doing calibrations again. Boring stuff, lots of downtime. Glad to be here. Well, we're glad to have you, some Ramdo. For some people in Be More, it's sweater weather depending on how much you can tolerate cold. Be More. I don't know what that is. I'm crocheting a scarf with cashmere and silk. Ooh, that sounds nice. Do you still work out? Yes, I work out every day. Baltimore. Ah, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Be More. I like it. Be More. Sounds fancy. Hola, mis amigos. What's up, Sarah? What's my split? I don't do bodybuilding workouts, really. Today's actually been kind of frustrating. I am doing rehab for my back, working with my PT. And one of the things we had to do today was handstand holds, like accumulating 3 minutes in a handstand hold, like up against the wall. And so I went to go kick up to the handstand, and like I felt my back like tweak, and then I was like, dang it, dude. And so like it's so frustrating when it happens, because you feel like you just get set back, and like, so, oh my gosh, dude, so many people are messaging. Sorry for the Facebook notification. I need to change the settings. There we go. I just turned them on. And so it's been kind of like a frustrating day this morning, because I'm just like frustrated with my back, but things things don't heal overnight, so I just have to be patient, which is hard. Because I am not patient at all. That is not my strong suit. Did CrossFit mess up your back? No. Injury recovery is not linear, which really sucks. Yeah, I just have to kind of I just have to like really internalize that. It's hard. Like, because it was actually like the reason it's frustrating is because today I was actually feeling really good, and I was like feeling like almost back to normal, and then it like that happened, and it was like, oh, okay, well, okay, I'm definitely not back to 100%, and so it's just like frustrating because I just, you know, I like to be 100%. I don't like to be operating on less than. So I've been doing pretty good with watching my calories until today. I ate a half gallon of ice cream in one sitting. Brenda, why'd you do that? Now I feel like I need to go watch this Karen video. What the heck did I miss? You didn't miss much. It's honestly not that big of a deal. Injuries are the worst. Yeah, I agree. 100% for sure. It's frustrating when you are capable of more and something small trips that up. Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. This is a big reason why I don't sit at this desk at all really anymore. I just try and stand because I've noticed like if I sit for a long period of time, like my back feels so much more tight. Like it's unbelievable, like the difference between if I sit for 2 hours versus if I'm standing for 2 hours. Like my whole back feels so different compared to than if I were to just kind of if I were to sit. Like I'm just like I feel so much more tight and stuff. So how do you deal with huge cheat days? I don't do huge cheat days. A standing desk changed my life, no joke. I believe you. I don't think you're lying at all. Do you think Brooke Wells could win the CrossFit Games this year? I mean, anything is possible, but I don't see anyone beating Tia at all. Do you ever still feel guilt about eating certain foods? No, not really. Do I drink a lot of water? You have really nice skin. Well, thank you. I don't think I really have any. My skin's nothing special. I actually don't drink that much water. I try and do. I've been working on it. I've been getting better. But I think it's just this camera and the lighting is very nice, so it makes my skin look really nice. But I would say that my skin is honestly nothing crazy. Because I do literally nothing for my skin. I don't even put lotion on. I know I'm a terrible person, but I just don't. My top weight was almost 500. I'm 6 foot tall. I drink a lot of water. Did you deal with hair loss during weight loss? I'm going bald and it's not a look for me. Hair loss happens to a lot of people. Usually it's because you're missing like certain vitamins and minerals and things that you need, especially if you are at a severe deficit, because the more of a deficit you put yourself in, the less of a chance you have to eat enough calories and enough food to make up for the amount of vitamins you need. So like you'll notice a lot of people that are in severe deficits, they lose their hair. It's because they're in such a severe deficit. Like you see that a lot with people that are like get weight loss surgery and they have to go on really strict like diets before they can get the surgery. And so I would just make sure that you are taking a multivitamin, but make sure that you're eating a balanced diet even if you're in a deficit. What's up, Kawhi? Do you think it's better to eat before or after a workout? It just depends. I don't eat before my workouts. Well, at least if they're in the morning. I'm going bald too. Hoping minoxidil. Will stop my hair from falling out due to weight loss. It's already falling out thanks to genetics, but the double whammy would really suck. Question, why do you say keto is unsustainable? Well, because I believe that for most people it is unsustainable. I think that eating mainly fats and protein is not super sustainable for most people. But hey, everyone's a little bit different, you know? It might be sustainable for you. If you enjoy eating a lot of fat and protein, you don't really care about carbs, then go for it. Any tips for overcoming feeling intimidated with the weights area? I just started lifting and I honestly feel like a little minion amongst those guys. I'm a 4'10" female, so I definitely stick out. I feel like I'm probably not the best person to give advice for that, because I'm obviously a dude, and like when I started lifting I wasn't like super small. But like what helped me feel more like at ease in the weight area was watching a lot of like videos on lifting, and like kind of like watching things that kind of like watching, like if I was going to do a chest day, watch like chest day videos. And so like the fact of like watching things that basically explain the workout. So when I went to the gym and when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this workout, I was able to like have a plan. And I think for me, like having a plan was really, really helpful. Cause I didn't feel so out of place. And yeah, so that's kind of, I would say that helped me a lot. But again, like I am not I'm not probably the best person to answer that question. I'm just being honest. What's the best video that you have made that represents your journey? It's actually not a video I made. So the best video I think that represents my full journey is a video that CrossFit made. And I think they just titled it Obese to Beast. If you type in like Obese to Beast CrossFit, you'll probably find it, but it has like, they did a really good job. It's basically like a little mini documentary of my journey. And they did a really good job. It's a couple years old now, but I wouldn't say much has changed since that video, to be honest though. For what it's worth, in regards to the weight area, the vast majority of people there only care about their own workout. Unless you're being dangerous or obnoxious, you won't really make a scene. Yeah, I agree. People are focused on themselves. What's up, bro? I'm 13 years old and been watching you when I was like 9. It's crazy seeing how much you changed. That's crazy, man. Who is your favorite fitness guru? I don't really like the word fitness guru. I don't know. I don't really follow much fitness people. Like I have friends and stuff. Like if I'm thinking of like a fitness guru that I watch and stuff, I don't know. What do you think about Joe's Detox? Don't waste your money. When you lost all the weight, did you suffer from BDD? I lost over 80 pounds, but I still look in the mirror and feel fat despite my friends telling me otherwise, as well as my picture says so too. Any advice? I'm assuming you mean BDD is like body dysmorphia or something. I did a little bit, but for me, this one's hard because I know, like for me, I just like over time, I kind of was able to like accept, I was able to accept the fact that I was the size that I was, you know what I mean? That I had lost the weight. But I know that there's other people, like my girlfriend struggles with body dysmorphia a lot, and she's had the weight off for quite a number of years now. And so it's like I feel like it's hard with this stuff because I can only answer by sharing my experience, but I understand that my experience isn't representative of everything, right? So if I said, hey, yeah, for me, like with body dysmorphia, I just like over time I was able to slowly accept how I felt. There might be someone watching this, it's like I've had my weight off for 10 years and I still don't feel that way. And it's like I'm not lying, right? Like I'm not trying to be like facetious with what I'm saying, but that is my experience. But I don't know what someone else's experience might be. So it's just hard. Like, it's hard to answer that with any certainty. Like, I can share my experience, but I can't say this is what will happen. Did you ever deal with odd guilt after losing the weight? I can't stop apologizing when anybody points out that I've lost weight. No, I don't think I've ever dealt with that. Obesity means I had to go to therapy for my binge eating behaviors. Also, bipolar medication slowed down my metabolism and increased my cravings. Doctors had to help me out there. Quick question. What would you recommend for losing weight / putting on muscle, CrossFit or weightlifting? I did both and enjoy both, but I lean more on losing weight. I honestly would just do kind of whatever you enjoy most, right? If you like doing CrossFit and that's something that you're going to stick to, like, then do CrossFit. And if you like weightlifting and that's something you're going to stick to, do weightlifting. If you like doing both of them, do both of them, right? Just do less of each of them. But, like, you know, if you're, instead of doing CrossFit 100% of the time or weightlifting 100% of the time, do CrossFit half the time and weightlifting half the time. Yeah. Does spinning indoor help to burn fat quickly? Are you, like, I'm assuming you're not saying you don't mean spinning in circles, I'm assuming, right? You're like talking about like spin classes. I mean, if it is burning calories and it's something you enjoy, then yeah. I mean, it's not going to burn any fat any quicker than any sort of other activity that you're going to do. But if it's something that you like doing, then yeah. I miss working out. It's been nothing but injuries this year. Woke up to another injury and can barely move. Yeah, I feel you on that. I just want to thank you for all the info you provided over several years. It really helped. Well, thanks, Alexandra. I'm glad that I was able to help. Have you ever had workouts at CrossFit that left you frustrated and upset with yourself? Yes. Yes, all the time. That's like part of why I like it, because it's hard. And it's like you have to like keep pushing through it. That's like one of the reasons I like it so much, I think. Are you ever going to do heavy talk videos again, like maybe virtually after the lockdown? I missed those interviews. They were really cool. Yeah, we're going to do one. We're going to do them soon. I have a guy in here. His name's Tommy. He used to be over 900 pounds. And so I definitely want to do an interview with him. But yeah, I plan on doing it. It's just hard to get him set up. What's up, dude? Would you say eating a lot of fruit or mostly fruit is bad or good for weight loss? I would say that if you're in a caloric deficit, I wouldn't stress too much about it. Any tips on getting past feeling extremely lazy? Get up and do the thing that you're being lazy about. Tips on best way to measure body fat and muscle. There's nothing that's going to be 100% accurate, so that's why I don't really stress too much about like measuring it all the time. Like there's like if you really care that much, you can get like a DEXA scan. There's like places all over the country where you can like set up a time and go and get a DEXA scan. That's probably the most accurate way of tracking your body fat. But other than that, there's like bioimpedance scales, and there's like a ton of different ways you could do like the whole caliper thing. I don't really trust the calipers because I have loose skin, so like you can't really get a good like caliper kind of set. But yeah. Do you ever get tired of answering the same questions? No, not really. Fit 3D scan is better than DEXA scan. I've never heard of that one, but okay. After a workout, an ice cream smoothie is great, but living on juices ain't sustainable. Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you for building such a kind and supportive community. Whenever I feel a dip in motivation, I lurk on the Discord. LOL. It's awesome. All the awesome content fuels me. Well, awesome. I'm glad. I had a DEXA scan, and all they scanned was my bone density. I was so mad. I wanted a breakdown of my fat, muscle, etc. Well, they should scan everything. What do you say to someone who knows nothing about your journey and judges your weight? I kind of freaked on someone, but realized I could have been better, but also don't want to say nothing. So they're like judging you on your size, but they don't know you've lost a lot of weight. I don't know. I just wouldn't stress too much about that person. Like, they're not worth your time. Do you have exercise tips for outside exercising in the winter? I can't say that I do. I live in San Diego, and it's usually not super cold out here. I know you cover this all the time, but tips for up and down weight or plateaus? I mean, so like you said, I cover it all the time. So like nothing that I say now is going to be any different from what I've said before. You just have to ride it out. Like, people get so stressed out. They want to see change so fast, but like weight loss and things with your diet, like, they take time. Like, they just do. They take a lot of time. It's not just going to happen. It's not just going to happen super fast. And so it just kind of, you just have to, like, one, you have to understand it's going to take time, and two, you have to be honest with yourself and find out the things that you're not doing right. Like, when it comes to a plateau, like, your body you are either eating too many calories, you're not burning enough calories, maybe your sleep is messed up. Like, there's something in the chain of, weight loss that you are not paying enough attention to. And it's just like you have to be super honest with yourself and be like, okay, this is what I'm not doing and this is what I need to do better. Like, it doesn't get, like, there's not much more to it than that. Like, honestly. Congrats on 700K, man. Well, thank you so much. I think we hit it yesterday. San Diego, lucky you. Yeah. Born and raised. I've lived here my whole life. Dress for the occasion. Winter jogging is my favorite thing to do. All that snow is awesome. I know you're not a fan of water fasting as a tool for long-term weight loss, but how much have you looked in it for other benefits that it has? I'm honestly, if I ever do look into it, I'm not going to talk about it on my social media because I understand that I have a lot of people that follow me that are trying to lose weight. And I guarantee if I talked about water fasting, the amount of DMs I would get of people asking if they should do it to lose weight would be annoying. And so if I ever do look into it, I'm not going to talk about it. R. Marsh, I want to thank you for the Discord. It's a great space where I can not just help people, but learn from them and be better equipped to help my clients. Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you enjoy it. My husband's from San Diego, ended up in Akron with me. Poor dude. I know, that's not cool. You guys should move back here. Do you ever swim for cardio? No, I do not. I was going to start swimming because I wanted to do a triathlon next year, but I don't. I'm not sure if that's going to happen now with the injuries and stuff, but hopefully I get to do the triathlon at some point in my life. Hello, John. How are you? I'm good. Do you have any advice for staying motivated on a journey for sustainable weight loss? I would say, like, to understand that it takes a long time, and you just got to be patient. Trust the process, really. There's nothing I can really say. Like, there's going to be ups and downs. The journey's not going to be a straight shot. You just kind of have to, like, ride with it, roll with the punches, I guess. Tips on ways to combat binge eating urges. I seem to talk about this every single stream, but with binge eating, like, it usually comes from over restriction. So I would say find the things that you're over restricting on. Why do you feel like the reason that people binge is because they feel unbelievably hungry, right? And so you are probably under eating most of the days, and so you're under eating 5 days out of the week, and then 2 days out of the week you binge eat because your body's so hungry. And so just like find out what you're under eating on and go from there, you know. Try and, like, for me, what worked was adding in a little bit more calories throughout the week. Instead of eating 1,000 calories a day, eating 1,500 calories a day, because the amount of food that I would eat on my binges were like way higher than that, right? And so my weekly average was still higher, even though I was eating less on the days that I didn't binge. So eating a little bit more made it so I wasn't so as hungry, and so then I was like, I just didn't feel the urge to binge because I was eating more throughout the week. John, what are your favorite shoes for running and jogging? Shoes are really personal, and so I don't want to say like this is what you should get. Right now, I haven't ran in a while because of my back, but I'm using the Ultra Escalantes, which is it's a zero drop shoe. I also really like the Nike what is it? Infinity React, I think is what it's called. That's a really nice shoe too. They're very different. One's a zero drop, one's a super high drop, but I really like those ones. Swimming could be really great to help you with your injury. There's nowhere to swim right now in San Diego, so like all the gyms are, like all the pools are closed. Thank you, everyone did Steptober of 12K steps a day, so I wanted to switch it up. My feet can't handle the 290 pounds when trying to jog, sadly. There's nothing wrong with just going on walks. I'm a small person, 5 foot short. I've cut my calories to 1,200 and work out regularly. I have plateaued for a long while. Would eating less be bad? It's hard to say. I can't really I don't want to say like you should eat this many calories, but I would recommend, because 1,200 is already kind of low. But I mean, you are 5 foot, so you're pretty short. I would recommend probably upping your activity if you can, and that doesn't mean like going to the gym and doing a bunch of workouts. That could be taking more steps. But I would always recommend moving a little bit more if you can versus cutting your calories lower. Walking is so underrated. I've lost 90 pounds, and seriously, one of the keys was realizing walking does so much. Dude, I'm telling you, I'll die on the walking hill. I will die on the walking hill. It is so unbelievably, like, walking is so important, dude. And it's so powerful. You can, like, it's not even you can burn a lot of calories, but you can be active for such a long amount of time, and not, like, it's not, like, hard for your body at all. Like, it won't be hard on your body, I mean. Like, you won't be like, man, I just finished that walk and I feel wrecked, you know? Like, if you do a run, you might feel that way. I know I do. But after a long walk, I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm chilling. Went hiking for the first time yesterday, and it was a lot harder than I thought. I don't know how people do that for fun. Maybe it will be better next time. Well, I mean, there's tons of different types of hikes, right? So, maybe the hike that you're doing was pretty intense. John, have you ever tried boxing? No, I'm too much of a scaredy cat to do that.
Today's video is...
Okay. Sorry. I was setting something up. I tried it with a fitness studio, but every 2 months I would get sick. Don't know why, so I ordered a treadmill, and it will be delivered tomorrow. Well, that's awesome. I'm writing a paper on food preferences developed in childhood thoughts. I mean, sounds cool to me. I'm sure that those things affect you for sure. Advice for cardio that is easy on the knees, please. I was just talking about it. Walking. Or boxing. Swimming. Probably not boxing. I mean, it might be easy on the knees if you're just, standing and doing stuff. But, yeah. Is calorie cycling like carb cycling? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much the same thing. Just with all calories instead of just carbs. Thanks, sorry, just joined. It's all good, dude. No, you don't gotta say sorry. Spinning isn't bad for the knees either. Well, there you go. What is calorie cycling? Well, from what I understand, calorie cycling is basically like different days of the week you eat a different amount of calories. So, okay, I'm going to have a really hard training session. I'm going to eat 2,000 calories. Okay, I'm going to have a rest day. I'm going to eat 1,500 calories. Okay, my training session this day wasn't super intense, so I'm going to eat 1,700 calories. So instead of eating the same amount of calories every day throughout the week, you change that up and still end up on a deficit, right, for the weekly calories. So it could work for people. I know for me it was just that's too much math and figuring it out. So for me it was just easier to eat the same amount of calories every day. But it could work, like 100%. What kind of training is your favorite? Probably CrossFit training is my favorite. Sounds like something I should try. Maybe look into it. I don't know. Such an elaborate way to avoid intuitive eating. All right. Okay, so today I was sent this video into my Discord, and this video is actually pretty old. I didn't realize it until I was just looking at it right now, but this video actually came out like 2 years ago. So I don't know how accurate this video is to the person that made it, how much, it's still up on YouTube. So I would hope that they still believe what they were saying in it. But the name of this video is Why I Am Not Body Positive, and this is from Megan Tonjes. I know that she's a pretty big voice in this space. I've seen videos from her before in the past, so I'm kind of curious as to what she has to say. So I haven't watched really any of this at all, so let's see what she has to say.
Is about Tess Holliday's Cosmo cover, the internet's reaction, and why you can fuck off.
Oh, so it's so like I said, it's pretty old. It's from the Cosmo cover, which was a big thing, like I said, 2 years ago.
When people are shocked, like they've never heard of Tess Holliday, or they didn't see this coming, I'm like, do you not follow fat people on the internet? This almost felt so normal that I didn't even plan on making a video about it, because I was like, well, yeah, of course, she's been doing this for so long. She's continuously booked campaigns. It was only a matter of time before she was on a cover like this. Also, this is a magazine about sex and relationships, and spoiler alert, fat women have sex and relationships.
So I would say, just right off the bat, it's interesting because it's very clear that from what she just said right here is that she wasn't surprised by it, and she's surprised that other people are surprised by it. But it just goes to show that obviously, you're kind of like, when you are in your kind of like bubble, I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but when you're in your sphere of influence or whatever, you see things that might be normal to you are not normal to other people. But we get so used to what we're used to seeing that when people are like confused by it, we're just like, how are you confused by this? This is totally normal, when it might be normal to you, but it's not normal for everybody else.
You're gonna turn that cover and you're still gonna get your 100 weirdest ways to give a blowjob, or whatever it is that keeps you not in these relationships, but probably definitely texting your exes. The more you see other bodies and the more you see people being unapologetic, you're gonna get used to seeing other bodies, not just strictly curated, photoshopped versions of what human beings look like. Poreless, scarless, smooth, little aliens.
Well, I would argue that those photos were highly edited as well. So it's interesting that she's saying that.
Like, I don't know what we've become. Facetune is a drug. I did not go looking for people's reactions. Why? Because I know people's reactions, because I get these comments every single day. I dare to exist in a video. I breathe in fat, and they're like, oh my God, look at you glorifying obesity. What does glorifying obesity look like? Is that like, should I go out to the pier and just like through a megaphone yell about how great obesity is? Like, come to the fat side, come to the light, to the Lord and the lard. Like, what the fuck does that look like? I'm not glorifying blonde hair. I'm not glorifying being Midwestern, but by existing, I am glorifying obesity. So glorifying means this is a thing that happens. Not everyone has this or is this, but some people are. Hey, this is a thing. Through the course of
So, I mean, this whole kind of what she's saying right here is, again, this is something that I've said so many times, is like there is a difference between like just a fat person existing online, right, and just like doing their thing, versus like glorifying obesity and promoting obesity. Like, I think that those are very different things, and I think that it's important for those, like, for it to be known that those are very different things, because like when people start seeing fat people as just existing, or like posting fashion things that they're excited about or whatever, and then they start attacking them and saying like, you're glorifying obesity, or you are like, you are gonna die early and all this stuff, when they're literally just existing. I think that that's wrong, and it's not going to do any good, because that person obviously has probably dealt with a lot of people saying that they're overweight or fat in the past anyways.
Trying to mind my own business, I stumbled across someone that I follow, a conversation that they were having back and forth about this cover and how conflicted it made them feel. I was paying attention, and then it went over a line, and I had to jump in and say that I think this is a bad take, and I find it offensive. So I hadn't read the actual statement this YouTuber released at the time, and then when I went back and read...
Wait, I want to read that.
I hadn't read the actual statement this YouTuber... I was paying attention, and then it went over a line, and I had to jump in.
So I was over the moon when models had to start showing doctor certs based on the purpose of their platforms to sell an image. Is this different? I don't only see that with thin bodies. It's morphed into be something like Kim Kardashian, not via exercise, then via surgery. She said, this is such a bad take. What if a model who falls into the size you think is healthy has heart disease or diabetes? As long as it didn't come from being fat or just external choices, they are cleared to show how clothes fit or be pretty, laying in a field of selling perfume. Okay, I'm kind of confused as to what she's saying there. But I do think that it's a little bit ridiculous to like expect like models to show that they're healthy to be models. I don't know. I think that I would agree that is a bad take.
And say that I think this is a bad take, and I find it offensive. So I hadn't read the actual statement this YouTuber released at the time, and then when I went back and read it, I think my blood actually turned into gas. I think it actually went to the next stage. When I was borderline obese 10 years ago, I needed to know it wasn't okay in order to get healthy. I honestly feel like if I'd been told by media and other agents of socialization that it didn't matter that I changed my habits, I wouldn't have. I'd have learned to get used to being obese and all the feelings that come with that you can't know until you experience it. Things like not fitting into public chairs in the same way, finding it difficult to buy clothes you like, growing tired on a brisk walk very fast, having to change your sexual routine because certain positions are no longer possible. If you are obese and these things don't bother you, that's great. That's fine. If you're obese and you don't feel exhausted a lot, don't have to take meds, and you don't worry about dying young on your children again, that's great. Oh my God. Okay.
So I mean, this might be a hot take for some of you guys watching this, but I don't necessarily disagree with anything that person said. And especially if you looked at the very end, it says, again, that's great, but these are very real concerns. And I'm assuming she says something like for me and like what I was going through. So it's frustrating. Sorry, I just said it right there. So these are very real concerns. Here, let me show you. These are very real concerns, blank, right? And so she's probably going to say for me and whatever. And so it's frustrating when, like, if someone is sharing the fact that they were not that they were not okay being the size that they were, i.e. me being almost 400 pounds. I wasn't okay with that. I was genuinely afraid I was going to die. Like, that is not me attacking someone else that might be that same size. Like, everyone has a different opinion, and everyone has different, like, everyone has been through different things. And so it's frustrating that, like, because this person is saying this for themselves, that she feels attacked, when it doesn't seem like this person probably was at all trying to attack her at all. Like, she was just stating how she felt.
Children again, that's great. Oh my God. Okay. A lot of these aren't feelings that fat people have. These are experiences. I'm not going to speak for fat people as a whole because I can't do that.
I would say that, yes, a lot of them are experiences, right? Not being able to fit into certain chairs, or like clothes not fitting you correctly. But when, like, if your joints are hurting, or you do go to the doctors and they tell you that you're pre-diabetic or you are diabetic, that's not just a feeling, right? That's not just an experience. That's a fact. That's something that's happening to you because of your weight. And to, like, one thing, if you yourself, that's not a problem for you, then that's great. That's fine. But for someone else, if that genuinely is an issue and they are genuinely trying to fix that, it shouldn't at all make you feel bad, because they are trying to work on themselves.
And a lot of times, I mean, there's no point in even trying to say what fat people do or don't feel, because you're always going to find a fat person that agrees with you. I would actually say it's more common to find a fat person that hates themselves, because, hello, why wouldn't you in this world? It makes it so easy to hate yourself. This world makes self-love feel like it's something that's reserved for...
Okay, so again, she says it's easy to find a fat person that hates themselves. One, I would argue, it's easy to find a lot of people that hate themselves. 2020 or even 2018, it sucks. But I would say that I think she's going to equate someone hating themselves as someone wanting to change something about themselves, right? And just wanting to change the fact that you are in a fat body, or change the fact that you have fat on your body, does not equal that you hate yourself. And so I think that's a slippery slope to go down.
A very lucky few, and that you have to fight your entire life to have it, and usually there's a price tag attached to it, or a promise from some product or something, as opposed to making you realize that it's an internal journey that you have, a connection that you have to yourself. It actually is only threatened by outside forces. It's not enforced by them. But anyway, as a fat person, I don't wake up every day saying, you know what I want my life to be? Harder. And I also don't love having to put myself as, like, the exception by showing test results. I mean, I have done in the past to, like, just fight with people and say it is possible to have the definition of health that you are talking about in a fat person. Here is proof. And it's still not enough, because when you show that stuff, people are like, but you're still at risk for it. It's still coming. Fucking death is coming for all of us. I don't know why anyone sits online, side note, and wants to sit and prophesize about when strangers are gonna die. That seems like a real weird waste of time. Well, we all...
I agree with that.
...should want to be healthy. That should be our greatest desire. So first of all, that's ableist, because not everyone, most people are not going to hit that health marker and then just ride it out until they die. The other thing to be really conscious of...
Okay, jeez. Ableist is... It is frustrating to me when I hear stuff like this, because I know that there are people that don't get the choice to be healthy because they were born with XYZ thing. They had something happen to them. There are things that are out of their control that will never make it so they can never be healthy. And so I'm not sitting here saying that Megan needs to work on her health or whatever. That's not what I'm doing here. But it's frustrating when people say how, like why, like, I don't want to be healthy. Like, it shouldn't matter, when it's like, man, it's so frustrating to me, because there are people that would love to be healthy and would love to, just by the fact of them working on certain habits and fixing certain things about the way they're eating or the way that they're not moving or whatever, they would be able, like, if they thought that they would actually be able to fix this cancer diagnosis or fix this other thing or whatever, they would love to do that. And so it's frustrating with me, because it almost seems a little a little bit like a privilege to be able to have this thing that might be quote unquote wrong with you, that you could fix if you wanted to, and just decide not to do that, and then get upset when people talk about the fact that, hey, you could change this about yourself if you wanted to. I'm sure there are a lot of people that aren't considered healthy that would love to have that option.
Is that health as the ultimate goal, the ultimate priority, is not the same for everyone. I feel like in general, and I'm going to make a blanket umbrella-ass statement, from my observation of being raised by thin people, growing up around thin people, a lot of you seem to have the freedom to prioritize when and how you want to be healthy and what that means for you. A lot of you kind of go in and out of these different routines, these different diets, none of them seem to be that sustainable for a lot of you. And then you can have entire stretches of time where you're not doing anything physical and you're eating whatever it is that you want. And the only way that people...
So far, this is such an unbelievable blanket statement that she is putting so many people in that I'm not going to pay much attention to this because this isn't based in reality.
Really know about that is when you tell them that. And a lot of times when you see thinner people or you see people that you find specifically sexually attractive eating pizza or eating burgers, a lot of the comments are about, oh my God, that's so refreshing. Those are not the comments a fat person eating pizza gets. In fact, I just shared a post where there's a model going between shows eating In-N-Out in a car in her underwear, and I did not see any comments about her health. Interesting. As a fat person, you are expected to be in a state of hating yourself all of the time. A constant need to change how you are. That's just not reality.
I don't think anyone's saying that fat people have to hate themselves all the time.
I have prioritized a lot of things above my weight and above my health. Those are often two separate things for me. If I'm focused on work and I'm focused on, paying these bills and traveling, and maybe I go for a few walks a week because I want to get outside and I want to move my legs and I feel good, that is seen by a lot of people as not doing enough. You're not as obsessed with your body and how it's not just making you feel, but making us feel, and why aren't you doing more? But if a thin person in a magazine talks about, you know what, I don't really do diets. I just don't believe in them. I like to, I occasionally splurge, and the rest of the time I just kind of eat what I want, and I meditate. I don't work out too much. I go for walks. People tend to accept that. They treat you like, oh wow, you're an adult who can make decisions and prioritize things over other things, and you know your life and yourself and what makes you feel good the best.
So I would argue that the point that she's trying to make, I can see where she's coming from, but no one gets to be severely overweight because of a couple, like they're making a couple decisions and they're still really worried about their health, and they're just like every once in a while, having a burger or having a sandwich or whatever it might be, right? Fries. Like that happens from like repetitive actions over and over and over again. Right? Repetitive things that you are doing that are not serving yourself in the long run. And so I would say that that's why people feel that way. And then on top of that, again, when we're talking about weight, it's not just about how society views you. It's about how your body is like now not working the way that you want it to work, right? Like for me, like not being able to bend down and tie my shoes, not being like so many things were going on that was not at all related to society, and it was more related to how my body felt at 20 years old, knowing how, okay, I feel this way at 20 years old. How am I gonna feel at 40, right? Like it's a little bit different.
Fat people, they treat us like we're little babies that can't understand the world. When you look at someone, here are things you don't know. You don't know where they are with their body. You don't know how they feel about it. You don't know if they are sick, if they're not sick, why they've lost or gained weight. You don't know. You also don't know anyone's health. A lot of you don't know how to have a conversation about health and obesity without making fat people the bad guy. Ignoring everything else that may or may not play a part in someone's body. Ignoring the fact that people have different priorities for their lives at different times in their lives. Ignoring the fact that for someone, feeling good and being fit may not meet your definition. So a lot of the things in that...
Now, I want to make it clear, I don't think that being overweight, being fat, being obese, whatever word you want to use, I don't think that makes you a bad person at all, actually. I would say that makes you pretty human. I would say that especially in the current situation with America, I would say that it makes sense that so many people are the size that they are. But again, it's important to understand that just because I understand that doesn't also mean that I don't believe that. And again, this is the most important thing. I believe that the people that want to lose weight and that they care about their health and they want to make that step, I don't believe that they are the bad guy either. Okay? And I believe that there are some people that are, fat shamers that are just mean and like rude and stuff. And again, I don't agree with them either. But it seems like people that are like, you should let me be fat, are also the first people to shame someone for wanting to lose a little bit of weight and making them feel like they're the villain and making them feel like they're a bad person, or calling them an ex-fat, calling them fat phobic, calling them a bunch of names, right? Like that shouldn't be okay either. If you're not going to stand for this, you shouldn't stand for the other thing as well, which is how I feel, right? I'm not going to stand for, people going around and just calling people fat and being mean, but I'm also not going to stand for, on the other side of the coin, people going around and saying that if you try to lose weight, you will automatically have an eating disorder and you're a terrible person. Like, it doesn't work just one way there.
That essay were frustrating. Most of all, the fact that it ends with basically saying, well, I don't really know how I feel. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I'm like, pat on the back for bringing this up. It's just so hard for me to jump into that conversation and be like, please really consider reading these books and really consider before you stumble into a conversation that you don't know how you feel about and you're about to rustle up a bunch of people and make them upset. Talk to more fat people. Know more people that have dealt with these specific experiences and who have dealt with the emotions of which you might not know. A lot of you also sent me this Trish video where she's talking about how Tess isn't a good role model because she doesn't promote working out. Meanwhile, Trish can't even promote common fucking sense. She only makes stuff about being fat and fat chicks and stuff when people are buying into it, and then the rest of the time she's crying, hating her body, and binge eating while working out. Oh God, I can't.
I mean, Trish is like literally a meme, and literally anything she says, just don't believe it. It's all fake, right?
Please don't even get me started on that. You sent me the H3H3 podcast. I don't know how to say this in the nicest way possible, but I don't particularly care what someone who openly talks about being a fat piece of shit and hating their body feels about plus size models and their representation. This is the same thing that happens when people...
So what I'm seeing here is, again, like, I understand where she's coming from, but it seems like I only care about the people that have the same beliefs as I do. And if they don't have the same beliefs, I'm going to make excuses as to why they believe that. And that's just not realistic. And so that's exactly explains why she wasn't surprised when she saw Tess Holliday, but then she was surprised when other people didn't agree, because she is only surrounding herself with people that agree with what she believes. And this is not a slight at her. This is everyone. I'm sure I'm the same way. That's very normal. And so she's saying all this stuff like, you should talk to these people, you should talk to this, what about this? But she herself is basically admitting that she doesn't talk to other people either, and she keeps it in her own bubble. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I understand it. But if you're going to sit here and say that I'm going to judge other people based on XYZ thing, but you yourself are not going out there and finding out other people's points of view, which you literally admitted in the beginning of this video, I don't understand how you feel like you can be this like above everything person that's gonna lord over everyone and tell people how it is.
People send me the Nicole Arbour videos. She got me the first time. I made the response because I was caught off guard. That was the first time I had seen someone in this kind of circle of YouTube people hanging around the same people that was that vocal about how much they fucking hate fat people. I'm kidding. They like fat people when they're subscribed to them and consistently trying to lose weight for them. But it's the same thing. A lot of you keep sending me stuff from Nicole Arbour saying like, well, she said this, and like, did you see this? I didn't see it because I'm not looking for it, because I don't value her opinion. I don't look at that person as like, oh my God, just share with me the secrets of the world. I look at that person as like, wow, ring lights on white walls. That's still a thing.
You don't see it because you keep in your own circle, right? Just like I was saying.
When I first thought about making this video, I went into my notebook app and the first thing I wrote was, how fucking dare you? Because that was how I felt when I was looking at everyone else's responses. I was angry because a lot of you don't keep the same energy for everyone else that graces the cover. You don't ask these same questions in the same way. You don't demand these same answers. You don't expect these people to just remind you how much they hate themselves. I'm frustrated about people using hashtag body positivity and not understanding its roots and not protecting fat people, and not understanding that we are autonomous human beings too, and we have just as much right to process things that have happened to us, things that we're doing, and be trusted as human beings to, if something doesn't feel good, if something doesn't make me happy, if I don't like something, figuring out the ways to change that and empowering us. And that change is not inherently going to be weight loss.
But again, it might not be weight loss for you, but it might be weight loss for someone else. And to make them feel bad for stating that and making it, a public Instagram post or whatever it is, the thing that she's upset about, like, I don't get how you don't see how that is. It's the same thing. You are shaming them for having a belief that is different than yours. So if you disagree with it, and it really triggers you, then don't talk about it, right? But if you feel like you can talk about it and like have a conversation, that's fine, right? That's what I'm doing right now. But if you're like, oh, it's such a terrible thing, it's like you are like, this person had the same feelings as you did, and they felt, okay, you know what? So I can feel better, I'm going to lose weight. That doesn't make them a bad person.
Feels like people walked in who don't really care about the history of something and started moving the furniture. People just want to feel good about being a little bloated in their bikini on the internet, but don't care that for fat people, it's not just about like, ooh, feeling bloated and looking good in a bikini. It's like finding clothes to put on so I can go to a job that's going to pay me less, probably because of the way people view fat people as.
So she just said, like, so if someone is posting, basically she said, if you're posting about being bloated in a bikini, like, you don't know what it's really like. And that's frustrating because, again, you just said fat people are autonomous people. And yes, they are. So are people that feel bloated in the bikini and maybe aren't super comfortable posting about that. So are people that might have loose skin that might not feel comfortable posting about that. So are everyone else that might use the hashtag body positivity and talking about their problems because they aren't super comfortable with it. Just because you perceive your problems to be bigger than theirs, I don't understand how you don't see how unbelievably gatekeeping and just unnecessary that is. I don't get it.
Being incompetent. The fact that people have tried to restrict our ability to adopt, that birth control doesn't work the same for us because it hasn't been tested on people over 160 to 180. The fact that so often we're misdiagnosed because doctors see fat and they say, well, just lose it. The pain will go away, and we die. You need to start looking behind the curtain. You need to start looking at how the machine runs and pay attention to all of the forces in place, all of the things that we're trying to dismantle that don't only affect fat people, they affect you. They affect your bodies. If you're disabled, if you're a woman, if you're trans, if you're a person of color, look at how people have tried to change their bodies throughout time.
Did you guys, so everything that she just put together are certainly things that are very much a struggle and that are very hard to deal with, right? But then lumping in being fat with that, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Like, I understand it's hard, I understand it's difficult, but to lump being fat in with being trans or being a person of color or being a woman or be like all of these things, like, it's so frustrating. Like, it is not the same thing. And people just, like, they put it together and they make it seem like it is. And then if you argue against it, it's like you're arguing against being trans or arguing against being a person of color. Guess what? I believe that those are truly hard things to deal with. And like, they have been treated poorly because of those things. And they can't do anything about it as far as changing themselves, right? If you're a person of color, you can't just bleach your skin, right? Everyone wants to bring up Michael Jackson, but like, it doesn't work like that. But if you are overweight and it's literally causing you pain and hurting you, you can change that. It's possible. It's possible.
The value of being smaller, of taking up less space, and just soak in some of that information. What's hurtful to me is that watching these reactions, I know that my accomplishments are put up to the same standard, in the sense that if I ever get on the cover of something, win an award, do whatever, there's always going to be this attachment of, but what is her health? What's that blood pressure doing, fatty? Ooh, you said something that really resonated with me, but let's check that cholesterol. That is frustrating, and I'm sure all of you can understand why.
Again, I can understand how that would be frustrating. But again, it's like these little things of people being mean is one thing, but versus like when you start to be like, it is also the same as being trans or being a person of color. Like, you can't equate those. They're not the same thing. And so like someone being a jerk and like asking you how, like, what your blood pressure is or whatever, yeah, that's frustrating. But it's, I don't know, you guys know what I'm doing.
That is frustrating. Here's your homework. I would suggest you listen to She's All Fat podcast, Food Psych podcast, read Jess Baker's Things No One Will Tell Fat Girls, and Land Whale. Also, consume everything Sonia Renee has ever written or said or done.
So what she's saying here is basically do everything that I do so you can be similar to me.
Body is not an apology. She's incredible. There are people in this community who are having these conversations, who are doing really great work, and who are constantly trying to bridge the gap between who the world tells you you should be and who you can be. I wish that I would have had people like this when I was younger, so that I had all the information available to me. I could make informed decisions. I felt empowered. I felt seen. I felt loved. And I didn't feel ridiculed or shamed or less than or whatever it is that people so desperately want you to feel. At the end of the day, everyone can have their opinion. Everyone can say whatever they want. Lord knows I say whatever I want all of the time. All I can do is tell you what you will find here on this channel, on my platforms, which is I trust you to know yourself best. I encourage you to know yourself best. I am going to share all of the tools that I have available so that you can possibly avoid some of the things that I've done in the past, or at least you feel comforted or seen when you're...
Okay, so what I will say to that is, okay, if you truly believe that people know themselves best, then I don't want to see any sort of shaming or making someone feel bad because they think what's best for them is losing weight. That's very important, right? If you truly do believe what you're saying, you truly do believe that you know what's like that I or whoever else is watching knows what's best for them. If they think that what's best for them is losing some weight, then you should be totally fine with that.
Going through some of the traumas and the struggles that you're going through or that you're going to go through. I want you to feel good in your body, but I don't personally care what your body looks like, and I don't personally care what other people feel about your body. In fact, when it comes down to like if you pissed me off and I had to say some shit to you, your body and your job are at the bottom of the list of things that I can grab from because I pay attention to people's actions. I pay attention to people's words. However it is that you exist on this planet, I have empathy for you, and I want you to know yourself well enough that you don't hurt other people and you don't cause trauma to other people. That's it. That's the goal. I want little fat BBs who are looking, thinking, oh my God, I can't do any of this stuff until I am this size or until people feel this way about me, to understand that I was on Ellen DeGeneres when I was 320 pounds at my absolute highest. There are things that I've done and
that's very strange because I was also on Ellen DeGeneres after I lost 180 pounds and I was at my leanest. So I don't understand what that has to do with literally anything here.
things that I've been a part of that no one ever told me I could do. All the people who told me, nope, you can't do this. Nope, you're not a good representation. Nope, you're not a good role model. Where are they now? Are they still leaving comments on my videos? Like, where are they? So that's it. I'm Megan Tonjes.
I mean, you can be a good role model. You can be a good role model, and it doesn't have to do anything about your weight. I don't understand that at all, really.
Find me at most things at Megan Tonjes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because every week I'm over here glorifying obesity. Hit that subscribe button with your fat little fingers, and I love you. Say hi to your grandmas for me because I got a place to go. People touch like your face very much, and I will see you soon. Bye. You keep saying.
Well, that was a fun experience. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. Oh, man. Natalie, thank you for the advice earlier, adding more activity rather than cutting more. Well, I'm glad to help. I'm glad that it helped you out. I lost brain cells. I'm genuinely upset after that video. Don't be upset. It's all good. We're chilling. That was not fun. Yeah, you know it is. Honest question, you're making money off criticism of them. What's your recommendations to folks who want to get healthy? Honest question, you're making money off criticism of them. What's your recommendation to folks wanting to get healthy? I mean, it depends on who is wanting to get healthy, like where they are on the spectrum of maybe unhealth. But if they are like relatively like overweight, then I would, I mean, every video I've ever made on the channel, I guess. But if you're underweight, then eating more. Like, I mean, I don't understand what that question has a lot of gray area there. I would probably enjoy her as a person. I don't agree with some of her major beliefs, and that's okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm sure she's fine. I wonder what like types of videos she makes now. Oh wow. Yikes. I wonder. This was my first live stream I was to see. Just want to tell you that I think you are awesome. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much. I feel like OTB would honestly have a conversation with a person interested in well/healthy. I don't think he'd flat out give advice with no backstory. Yeah, that's accurate. It's just crazy, like seeing people's like channels who just kind of like drop off. I have never understood why people can't take accountability for their weight. I've gained 30 pounds in 3 years, and that's no one's fault but my own for making bad choices. Yeah, there's just a lot of people that struggle with actually like fully admitting it to themselves, which is understandable, right? Like being in denial is a huge thing. Seems like she has a lot of anger for everyone who's not overweight. I would say part of that is justified. If you're someone that has been made fun of because of your weight, like it's hard not to hold resentment towards the people that are making fun of you, right? And so it's like human nature to be like, okay, anyone that's not my size is against me because I've had so many encounters with people that treated me poorly because of my weight, kind of thing. And so, I mean, I'd say that that's quite understandable. Not saying it's okay, but I understand why she feels that way. Do you ever get bored of our questions? No, I don't. Her video pretty much summed up my experience with body positivity when I was 360 pounds. All was well. As I started losing weight, I got kicked out. Yeah, I mean, that's so standard for so many people. I have soccer practice, but have a good rest of the day. Well, have fun, Becca. We're going to be ending pretty soon because we're going to be doing a short stream today. But I do want to say, if we are for those of you guys that are still here, I do want to ask if you could follow me on Twitch. That would be awesome. Twitch TV/obese2beast, because I stream on there. Usually the streams are a lot longer, and so that would be great if you guys could do that. I appreciate it a lot. Would you do fit to fat and back to fit experience? No, I would never do that. I like that you clarified it's not okay because regardless of how you are treated, how you treat others is a reflection of you. So be your best to you. Yeah. People take everything so personally. When I started losing weight, my friends who never spoke about weight or weight loss all of a sudden had negative opinions. Yeah, it's sad that people feel that way for sure. I've been fat and fit. She wouldn't have helped me while fat. I found you through Coach Greg. I am at 524 pounds, working towards 320-ish, or 230-ish. Jeez, dyslexia, sorry. Just starting following you and Remington James. Not a fan of him. Okay. Any recommendations, especially with beginner workouts? I would honestly start with walking. Just start moving very slowly. You don't have to do anything super crazy. Like, just find something that you like movement-wise, like even if it's home workouts, and just do something that's getting you moving. Especially because you said you're 524 pounds, so like you don't need, like, the workouts at home that you would be doing are so much less important than the food that you're eating, right? So I would say really focus on your diet and get that in check. And if you're watching Coach Greg, like, there's tons of great recipes on there for you that like are going to be super helpful for your journey. But yeah, I would focus on that. You just appeared at my recommendation with these types of videos. Well, I hope you enjoy them, Natalie. So glad I caught this chat again. What a time. Well, thanks, Anya. How do you feel about Every Damn Day Fitness if you aren't a super fan of like yelling at people? I think like what he does works for the people that like him. It's definitely not my style at all. It's like literally the exact opposite, I would say. Yeah. How's your grandma? She's actually doing good. She was diagnosed with COVID, but apparently like she was able to get out of the hospital not long after. So, that's good. My dad's happy about it. Is your diet still the same stir fry? Or have you switched it up? I actually recently, that's a good question. Just super recently, the past few days, I've actually had a meal prep company here in San Diego make me get me some meals, and so I've been able to switch up my diet a little bit more, but more or less it's relatively pretty close to what it was. Do you find it weird that your videos might be on YouTube for hundreds of years? No, I don't really think about that very much. The meal prep company is called Fiero's Kitchen. Alan motivated me a lot when I first started losing because I respond to tough love. Lately, his videos make me tired, though. I have a friend who's 400 pounds and has an IUD. I assume that's an option for other obese women. Just beginning my journey, 329 pounds, 6'8", mom of 3, 0 knee cartilage, lower back and sciatica issues from a car accident, looking to get back to 170 pounds. Any good advice? Focus on your diet, because obviously movement right now is probably going to be pretty limited. But like that's frustrating, but at the same time, like I hope that knowing that your diet is so much more important to weight loss is empowering in some aspect, right? Because you understand that like, your diet is going to be the thing that nets you the most weight loss, like by far, than the movement that you're able to do. So I would say I don't know exactly, obviously there's tons of stuff there that I don't understand, but I would say maybe try and find movement that doesn't hurt and do that. But at the same time, like really focus on the diet, the foods that you're eating, the food that you're putting into your body. All right, you guys, like I said, it's going to be a shorter stream, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I would really appreciate that. Sorry it's a little bit shorter. I just have other things that I need to get done today. But I hope that you guys had fun. It was a great stream. I had a great time hanging out with you guys. Yeah. Peace out, you guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Peace. Oh, yeah. Look how buff I am. There.